Hey guys, how's it going? Yuri here, and today's video I want to talk about what do you do when you're speaking with a prospect and they say, I need to talk to my spouse, right? That good old infamous, I need to talk to my spouse objection. Well, that's what I want to talk about in this video, and I want to give you 3 little distinctions to think about to help you address the objection and help your clients get through that, because that's what that is. I mean, we see this stuff. I'm just taking the dogs for a walk right now, so if I stop and start, it's because Jax is a little bit slow here. But one of the most, I'd say more, other than price, the number one objection you're gonna find is that if someone's about to, or hopefully enroll with you in your coaching program, is a lot of people have a tough time making a decision on the spot, and that's okay. But when we speak to people on a weekly basis, the number one thing we see other than price is, I need to talk to my wife, I need to talk to my husband, before making a decision. And there's nothing more frustrating than that. So I'm gonna give you 3 ways to address this, okay? So the lesson here is that we need to think of when someone presents an objection, whether it's price or spousal stuff or anything else, we have to consider that they're actually just asking for help, okay? Because the very fact that they're still on the phone with you or still in that conversation is a good thing. So we wanna take their side and think of, instead of being on opposite sides of the table, you want to kind of swing around to their side of the table, have a seat with them, and really understand where they're coming from. So that's the first thing, just from a mindset kind of shift. Now the second thing is that we want to first and foremost acknowledge that they need to do that, right? So before look at this guy, he's like, if you can see Jax, let me just show you him. He is extremely stubborn. I think he's a little bit slow right now. He's slowing down in life a little bit. He's almost 11, I think. So I don't know. Anyways, so let me just get back to what I was saying. So we want to acknowledge the objection. We want to acknowledge the fact that it's okay that they feel that way. So the first thing, in order to address that effectively, is we want to say, listen, I understand where you're coming from, and this is a big decision, right? And if I were in your case, I'd probably want to double check with my wife as well. So that's totally fine. So here's what I'd like to do. Okay, ... Now, before we get to, before we even get to that part, there's one thing you need to do in your calls when you're speaking with somebody on the phone to enroll them as a client, to avoid that conversation in the first place. And the first thing you have to address in the first 30 to 45 seconds of a call is you need to ask them, is there anybody else you need to consult with in order to make a decision today? And that's a really important question, because if they say no, then they are the sole decision maker. If the person says yes, I have to double check with my wife or my husband, then what you're gonna say next is, great, that's awesome. When would be a better time this week for all 3 of us to jump on a phone call? And what that's gonna do is that's going to eliminate the whole spousal objection in the first place, because all 3 of them are on the call now, or all 3 of you are on the call, and they don't have to leave the phone to now run the whole thing by their spouse, and their spouse is most likely not going to be supportive of their decision to want to enroll with you, because they don't know anything about the conversation, right? So we want to get them on the phone in the first place. Now, if that's the case, okay, if I can move my phone around here, if that's the case, and they're on the phone with you, and you get to the point where you make your offer for your coaching program, and they say, they need to think about it, again, totally fine, acknowledge that. Say, like, listen, I totally understand you guys maybe want a bit of space. So here's what I want to do is, I've got a few things to do right now. Why don't we just hang up the phone for 5-10 minutes? I'll give you a bit of breathing space to talk about this amongst yourselves, because the reality, guys, is that people don't need 5 months to decide. They're going to make the decision right then and there. They just need a little bit of space on their own without you on top of them to make that decision as effectively as possible. So what I would suggest is hang up the phone right there, call them back in 5 minutes, and be like, okay, what do you guys want to do? And it's as simple as that. So that's what I would strongly recommend you do in that case, if you have both people on the phone. Now, if you only have one person on the phone and they say, listen, I need to talk to my wife or spouse or my husband, what I would suggest is, okay, great. Here's what I can do is I can hold your spot for 24 hours and I'll let you, talk with them and obviously run this stuff by them. When can we chat tomorrow? All 3 of us. Get all 3 of you back on the phone, or at least the primary decision maker. And from there, at least you have some degree of short time span for them to make a decision, because the longer this delays from the initial conversation, the lower their desire is going to be, the more the excuses are going to creep up. So we want to avoid that from happening in the first place. So those are 3 ways we can address the spousal objection, and hopefully this becomes useful for you in your enrollment calls. Our whole approach to speaking with people is always coming from a place of service, not selling. But at the end of the day, you do have to make an offer, right? You do have to make an offer to enroll those people in your program, because that's ultimately how you're going to serve them, right? So if you like this kind of stuff and you would like a little bit more support and help with your business, and obviously helping enroll more clients into your coaching program so you can help them with your awesomeness and help them solve their problems, I invite you to check out our new online training called the 7-Figure Health Business Blueprints. Inside, you're going to discover the new way to build a 6 or 7-figure coaching business, specifically in the health space. And I think you'll really find this helpful, because one of the things that we're going to walk you through in this online training is a 4-step process we call the perfect client pipeline, which is how you can attract your best clients predictably without having to do all sorts of manual prospecting, all sorts of nonsense, and how you can deliver an amazing result for them, even in a group coaching type of program. So if you want to make more money, enjoy more freedom in your life, not have to do the one-on-one coaching, then I think you'll really enjoy that training. Again, it's totally free. There should be a link somewhere on this video. Just click on that. It'll take you over there. Register for today, and I look forward to seeing you in our next video.